Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I was just reading an article talking about the Fed report yesterday, mentioning that there could be a wave of defaults coming. It turns out that the recovery through the pandemic has not gone so well, surprisingly. Looking at the Dow and some of the other stock markets out there, you would think that things are just rocking and rolling and the recovery is well underway, but that is definitely not the case. And if you take a look at this Fed report, or at least the article, they're talking about how the attempts by the Fed and the government to issue grants and loans to small businesses to bridge over the recession. I mean, basically what they were going to do is loan out a bunch of money and give a bunch of money away to the people and the businesses out there in an attempt to basically paper over the recession, and that once we got to the other side, hopefully things would be taking off again and we would be back underway as far as economic expansion and growth goes. But that doesn't seem to be the case, and a lot of these loans are running out, and what I guess I mean by that is that the credit that these businesses have is becoming very limited. They're not going to pay it back. The expansion is slowed. Household and business defaults are going to rise. Now, of course, we don't know what they're going to do as far as a stimulus package goes, whether they're going to issue out a bunch more grants, if they're going to try and loan out some more money. We don't know what the stimulus packages entitle. But it really doesn't surprise me now when we see all this talk about like stimulus packages, UBI, the idea that the government is going to somehow provide the money that everybody needs to live, and this is going to be some sort of functioning system. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around UBI and how it's supposed to work, and how deficits just don't matter. I'm trying to be open-minded about it because it's obviously coming, so I don't want to be like, somebody who has this, one-sided belief towards it. So I'm keeping an open mind towards UBI. The problem with it is that everybody seems to have this idea that, like, I've heard it more than once from somebody. They'll say, like, $1,200 would make such a difference in my life. If I had $1,200 a month extra, it would make such a difference in my life. Well, of course it would. I mean, you get $1,200 a month and you're going to be like, yeah, man, right on. Finally. I mean, you can get a car, you can get a better place to live, you can, you have no worries about food. Here's the thing. That $1,200 will eventually get absorbed into your cost of living. You'll raise your standard of living up. Okay. And then that will be not enough money anymore. Because what'll end up happening with everybody else getting $1,200 is the good times will be rolling at first. Everybody will be talking and praising and just saying how awesome it is. But all the items will begin to cost a little bit more. And a little bit more. Until eventually that $1,200 really doesn't do much for you. And you're pretty much right back where you were. It take a little time, but that's what'll happen. Because it's not a matter, and this is probably what the biggest thing that I have a hard time like trying to get to people when they talk about like stimulus packages and benefits from the government and stuff like that, is that it doesn't matter. They could send you $1,200 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,000 and $20,000. It doesn't matter how much they send you. It doesn't matter how much you get. It's all about how much you can save. Because if you cannot save any of that money, then your standard of living is a month-to-month basis. What'll end up happening is that 1 month you don't get enough money in, and all of a sudden things start to fall apart. See, that's where I think the Federal Reserve probably has the biggest problem, is that you can't just loan money to these businesses and expect it. It's like, man, we loaned them a bunch of money and wonder why things aren't working for them. It's like because they don't have enough revenue and now they have more debt. So yeah, now you really, like, you kind of put the icing on the cake for their sealing the deal of their death. I mean, you gave them a bunch more money, and there's not enough revenue. Yeah, what did you think would happen? I mean, what did you think was going to happen from that? Or you give a bunch of people money saying, here, we know that you're in some hard times. Here's $1,200. It's gone in 2-3 months. Things are not getting better. Now what? You need more money. You need more drugs. Debt and drugs are exactly the thing. If you want to understand debt, just think about it like drugs. Just think about it like alcohol. An addiction to alcohol, same thing. Same thing. So, yeah, I think about this this Federal Reserve System, what they plan on doing as far as dealing with the recession once it really starts to kick into gear again. Don't look at the stock market. Don't. That's not where the real economy lies. Okay, you're gonna see that thing probably blow up to numbers that nobody ever thought would ever happen. If the Federal Reserve goes into like trying this process again, printing up a bunch more money, well, let's go into quantitative easing, only big time. All right, we were just playing before. We're gonna have to really kick into it. Yeah, these things are the signs of like an obvious failure, right? And it was like, whoa, that didn't work really well. Let's try it again, only big time. Let's try it bigger. Let's try it bigger and bigger. It'll work this time, I promise. It reminds me, I was watching The Simpsons the other day, and Homer got stuck in the mud, right? Homer Simpson did, and he's just like, what this is going to take is a whole lot of flooring, and he just guns in, just buries his car in the mud, and I thought, man, that is so relating to our economy right there. It was a great one. I should go find that clip and see if I can post it down in the links for you guys, that little section. That was funny as hell last night when I was watching that. My boy's been getting into The Simpsons, so. All right, well, it looks like they're starting to roll in here, so I guess I need to go to work. Uneducated Economist, I'll leave links down in the description. You guys let me know.